Okay, so let's go to this. And I just want to remind people, Human Design Inner Child, the Inner Child Online Retreat, November 1st to the 3rd. What is all this about, and what does it have to do with human design? Everything, because this is all about letting go of not self. Not self. And not self, why is not self so challenging to let go of? Because the conditioning starts in childhood from that 0 to 7 years old, right? That not self identity gets there. We're like blank slates from 0 to 7 years old. So this is all about letting go of not self, working with the emotional body, because that's the glue that keeps the not self identity in and so difficult to let go of and just operate as yourself, right? It's all there in the 0 to 7. So keep that in mind. Okay, so let's talk about the twin flames first. Okay, and where we go. Okay, so there's the twin flames here. I also want to remind people that I did a relationship reading for Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera, the two artists from Mexico, and part 1, and that's going to drop tomorrow around this time. So be sure to check that out. It's already up, ready to drop tomorrow. Okay, and one of the questions was like, were these two twin flames, right? So to look at the chart, very fascinating stuff. Okay. So the question on the table for the twin flames, and remember the twin flames, if we go back to the tarot card for this full moon, which is the 4 of Wands, this is the twin flame card. You see that? The 11-11, 11-11. And if you break down the 4 of Wands, it's Venus and Aries. And this is your divine counterpart, right? The Emperor and the Empress. So that's why the 4 of Wands is the twin flame card here. So it's all about coming into unity. It's all about coming into unity. That's what the twin flame journey is. So it's not you and your partner coming into unity, but you coming into unity within yourself. You coming into unity with your Empress energy and your Emperor energy. And these two come together, and the solar plexus mutation happens, and the divine child is born from the Empress and the Emperor, the spiritual divine child, and that's Christ consciousness. That's Christ consciousness, and that's the permanent opening of the heart, right? So if we go back here with the ego cards, so remember that there's the chaser. There's a chaser on one side. This is the polarity of the soul that splits for separation to heal. Both parties have to heal. So that's the chaser, and there's the runner. And they're called that because it seems like one of them is chasing the relationship, and it seems the other one's running from the connection, right? Running from the connection. Okay, but they're both just on their own individual journeys in separation. So the ego card, so this is for the full moon, right? So this is letting go, because it's activating the 42nd gate up here, the 42nd gate. And this is all about endings. This is about endings. It's about ending a cycle. Some kind of cycle is ending for this full moon. And I want to remind the twin flames that Pluto and Capricorn went direct today, and it's motoring for Pluto, right? Because it's the 29th degree towards Aquarius for the next 20 years, and that happens November 18th. So you want to finish up your Capricorn lessons, wherever that falls in your chart. Whatever you've been working on since 2008, it's coming to an ending. Okay, so if we go to the card for the chaser, it's the unlearning, right? It's unlearning. So it's unlearning what you learned. Right? And there's lots of that. So unlearning what you learned, right? What you learned. And this is your conditioning. This is what your conditioning is. So in terms of human design, that's what this is about, right? My online retreats are all about letting go of the not self, right? So this is your ego death, you could call that. These are identities that are not authentic to you. The not self has to go. And part of that process is unlearning what you learned, letting go of your conditioning. So you're unlearning something, right? So it could be beliefs, right? Belief patterns that you have, that you've inherited from your ancestry. You may not even know that they're in there, right? And it's going to be because the 42 is the programming partner of the 32. If we go back here, right? There's the 32 and the 42. These are programming partners. The 32 is money, right? And that's ancestral fear of survival, right? It's the shadow of failure. So you want to watch the beginning of this video, or you want to watch the larger live stream if you're watching just the twin flame video. So letting go of fear, what you learned around money, what you learned around money. Maybe you've got belief systems about that, right? So old beliefs that you've inherited, okay? And then look what we have here. I want to just go through these, and then we'll bring the wrap up. That's the Empress card. There's the Empress card there. So that goes back to this. Goes back to the Four of Wands energy. That's one part of it. So the Chaser's got one part of it down. So this is what's hidden from you. Okay? Hidden from you. And what does this say? It means that you've been working very, very hard on your own inner work to get to this place, to have unity with your divine feminine. Major work, right? Major self-love, major nurturing, major focusing only on yourself and loving yourself, right? Going into that abundance nature, being okay with yourself. That's been hidden. That's hidden from you. Maybe you don't know this, right? So anything back to the unlearning is like to let go of anything that's not aligned with this Empress energy for you. Like what's no longer in alignment with the Empress. So the divine feminine energy within you will keep expanding and growing, and it's going to be really easy to see like, no, this is not aligned with me anymore. It's not aligned with my sense of self-love, or this person isn't aligned with my sense of self-worth and self-love. It's going to be very, very apparent. So this is the unlearning. So the unlearning of the belief system could be, well, if I say no to somebody, then I'm not nice. I'm not a good person if I say no to somebody, right? Without a really good reason, right? So unlearning that, unlearning things like that you've taken on from your ancestors, So to me, it's like to remember that the Empress is like I'm a magnet. I'm attracting everything to me. It's Venus, right? Venus is self-worth, net worth, right? Having self-worth is connected to your net worth, which means you'll attract all the resources that you need as long as you stay relaxed and trusting and expanded in that energy space. So the advice, it's really interesting, is the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles, right there. Let me see that well. The Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles is kind of the Empress in waiting, right? The Empress in waiting. So this too is about, like the Empress is the ultimate love in the deck, in the tarot deck. But the Nine of Pentacles is Empress in waiting. And being okay with yourself, taking care of yourself materially, because it's Pentacles. This says your guidance is to receive, because the Empress is all about receiving. So receiving material resources that you need. It's about success. And look at that. That's the complete opposite of the full moon, which is letting go of failure. And this is your ancestors, right? Because you're walking away from the tribe, those tribal beliefs that you have. And we're letting go of tribal consciousness now. We're moving more into the individual consciousness for the sleeping phoenix and collective, individual and collective. So letting go of that and being self-sufficient, self-reliant. This is definitely sleeping phoenix energy. And yeah, and being independent and okay with that. So letting go, again, it's letting go of anything that's not aligned with these two cards. These two cards are very much a match. It's saying that you can take care of yourself. So if you're single and not in a partnership, it's okay. You're going to be okay. Do you need the twin? No, you don't need the twin. You're the main course, right? Nine of Pentacles Empress is I'm the main course. And the dessert is the twin flame. Right? I'll live, I'll survive without twin flame union. I'm okay. I got this. Everything's great, right? But the dessert, yeah, sure. We all enjoy dessert, but we don't need it. So that's what this is saying here. And then let me do the animal. Do I want to do the animal card now? So the animal card that I picked for the chaser is the fish. There's the fish. So that's the water element. That makes sense. Because remember that the chasers are evolving through the emotional body, the water element. Okay, I just got it here. So I'm not familiar with this deck yet. Got to work with it more. But I like to use it. So the fish can be restless. Right, restlessness. Change of focus, lost in the current. So the fish loves to be subsumed in life's current. Nothing pleases it more than movement, movement, movement. The roaming lifestyle of the fish may be exhilarating for a while, but usually leads to weariness and slippery relationships. With all the possibilities there in the vast waters, the fish becomes lost without clear goals and intentions. Spend time with the lunar forces. So this full moon, spend some time there, and in peace and calm of the moon will soothe your soul. So when in balance, adaptable. So that fits with the full moon theme too, about being flexible with change, travels well. When out of balance, distracted, changes your mind. Often. Mind gets changed often. So this could be doubt, like maybe doubt coming into, like this twin flame connection. Is it a delusion? Am I crazy? Because there's not, the way that it's orchestrated is you're not going to get the proof out on the external. That's not the lesson. The lesson is complete trust in the soul and the divine. So bring into balance is to set a small goal and accomplish it. Set a small goal and accomplishment. And maybe your goal is to unlearn something, right? For this full moon. What's something that I took on that's not aligned with this Empress and Nine of Pentacles energy, and then I'm going to let it go for the full moon. Maybe that's your goal, your goal. And to watch distractions. Okay. So let's go to the runner. And the ego that the runner's working on. So the chaser's letting go of conditioning, mind. And then there's that. You can't see that because it's a mirror. It's mirrored my image here. Self-love is selfish. That's what the ego is telling you. Self-love is selfish. Okay. So it's wrong, right? So this is a belief system too. These can work together, can't they? Unlearning, and then self-love is selfish because that's a belief system that needs to be unlearned. So somebody taught the runner that, right? That it's wrong to love and care for yourself. So as soon as you have that belief system, you're at the mercy of other people, other egos that can take advantage of you. And you're out of your power when you don't take care of your own needs. And I want to remind people, one of the themes for the Sleeping Phoenix is the 55.6. And the keynote here is selfishness. So this is 2027 and beyond. This theme kicks in. And so this is divine selfishness, right? Divine selfishness. It's not egoic selfishness, where it's I don't consider other people. It's all about me. Screw them. It doesn't matter if I hurt them or harm them. When you're in divine selfishness, everybody wins, because the divine is not going to tell you to do something that harms somebody. The divine might tell you to do something that the other person has a spiritual lesson by, right? With their ego getting triggered, maybe that will happen. But divine selfishness is win-win for everybody, right? So this is listening to your intuition, right? Listening to your intuition. It's like checking in, maybe, and this is where you can use your strategy and authority in human design, is check in with your sacral if you're a G or an MG. It's like, is this correct for me to go to this party? Like checking in, even with your intuition. It's like, I'm tired. I just want to stay home. I just want to be with myself. I haven't had really much time to myself, and I want to do some writing and just be alone and just, right? And just rest for a while. Things like that. Well, it's going to serve everybody. When you love yourself, it serves everyone. Remember with that 42 and the 32, the full moon themes, when you do something like that's coming from divine love, then all of humanity benefits, right? Because we're all connected. On the energetic level, everybody benefits. Okay, so this is a belief system that you have to let go of, that when I love myself, it's selfish. That's not true, right? When I love myself, it serves not only me, but everybody around me. The only ones that are going to be opposed to that are in their egos, and they're playing the same game, right? Okay, and they'll just project onto you. So you have to let that go, like not take on that projection. And then you're out of your power, because then the behavior is coming from outside of you. Well, I shouldn't do this and I shouldn't do that, and that's selfish. And you're out of your power. You're not listening to your intuition and your divine guidance. Okay, so what don't you see is this, and this is the victory card, the 6 of Wands. So what are you unaware of? Okay, you're unaware of victory. This is the victory card. This is attention, getting attention. So this to me is when you love yourself, that it brings victory. Just like the runner, when you unlearn your conditioning, let go of your conditioning, you go more and more into the Empress energy. As you really embrace loving and nurturing yourself, like you putting your needs first, not everybody else around you that's like in crisis or chaos, but actually tuning into your own self, not what I should do, but tuning into yourself. And it's like, okay, what do I need right now? And your soul will communicate that to you. Well, that's saying victory, right? 6 of Wands, that's victory. And you're moving, remember, we have to look at the 5 of Wands, because the 6 comes after it. 5 of Wands, you're all in conflict. Conflict with yourself, conflict with others, right? That would fit with this self-love is selfish. You're moving into the 6 of Wands, which is victory, right? Victory. And that's what you want, right? That I've accomplished something. I've let this go. I've let this go. So this says that the runners have also been doing their work. That's what this is telling me here, that they have a victory for this full moon that's coming, to do more and more of putting themselves first, big S self first, not putting their ego first, but their big S self first. Yeah, that's very, very positive. And what else about victory? So success. There's another success card, right? Because the one of the themes this full moon is failure. It's failure. So there's the success. And so trusting, because some people go to, if they go to completely logical, they go into their logical brain, and they're like, what was I going to say? With the 6217, the channel of acceptance, like that changing now, like future patterns. And the future patterns would be, well, if I do this and I do that and I do that, then I make money. Then I make money. Right? This logical, linear, focused, strategic approach to life, that's breaking down for the cross of the sleeping phoenix. Right? So if you say something, well, you need to love yourself, that's the problem. People don't want to go there. They want to go, no, it's a money problem. It's a money problem. I have to do this and I have to do that. They're looking at life in a very surface way, and they're looking back to the past, that this is how it used to work. It's not working anymore like this. And we're going to find this more and more. The old ways will stop working. They're stopped working, right? It's going to become more and more apparent. So something like this is like, well, if you give them the advice, well, I think you need to love yourself, right? You need to love yourself more and take care of yourself better. And that will attract more the material resources that you need. It doesn't make sense to the logical mind, but that we're looking at things in a spiritual way now. We're looking at things in an in-depth way, right? So also, too, the runner has to get into this Empress energy. Even if they're the the masculine, they're playing that part. It's about union. It's about union. You have to bring your divine feminine and divine masculine and unity within you. And the same thing with the chaser. Okay, and that will bring you victory. That's going to bring you victory and success, right? And recognition, especially if you're a projector runner too. And then the advice is the Fool card. And this is a brand new beginning. It's back to zero. Back to zero. Back to the very, very start to begin a whole new cycle. So beginnings, freedom, being in that innocence, right? Adventure, ready for an adventure, going back to zero. So that makes sense, right? With the full moon is about ending. With the 42 is about ending. I'm ending a cycle and I'm beginning a whole new cycle. But the runners have to learn this lesson of putting themselves first, of loving themselves first, right? And this means their divine self. So we have the twin flame connection, but this isn't the most important person in your life. Your relationship is not, oh, the end all be all is just to be with my twin flame. Your number one relationship is with your divine self, That's number one. Until you've got that, you'll be haunted. You'll be going through suffering and struggling with the twin flame. But this is the real juice. This is worth the squeeze right here. It's worth the squeeze. My number one relationship is with my divine self first. Then, right? And then others in my life accordingly, right? So that's what both parties are learning. So the runner's got to learn this lesson of putting their divine self first and trusting what that divine self is telling them in terms of their intuition, not listening to the mind and the ego, right? And that's going to bring you victory and bring you on this brand new adventure, this new path that the cycle is ending for this full moon. And then the Phoenix. Very powerful card. There's the Phoenix. And remember, the 400-year cycle that we're entering is the sleeping Phoenix. Cross the planning's ending, and now it's the awakening, the rising of the Phoenix. And this is in the spirit. So I'm going to just read from here. Okay. Phoenix. So freedom from suffering and past karma for the runners, reincarnation. So the phoenix represents the transformation of our past. It doesn't mean running away from it, denying it, or burning down bridges with rage. The phoenix employs an advanced technique described in yoga as the burning of impurities through practice and dedication. Tapas. I think this woman's a yogi. Yeah, inner heat. The essence of Phoenix is within us when we realize we have been suffering too long and something must change. We take a stand and decide to live consciously instead of being driven by the unconscious mind and its long list of fears and aversions. So this could be your ancestral fears that you're letting go of, runners, right? That's the theme of this full moon. And at that very moment, the spark of the phoenix, I'm done. The spark of the phoenix gets lit up. And the great bird helps us burn through our baggage. We no longer run from who we are, what has happened to us, or what we have done. The stuckness and dead weight fall into the ashes, and a lightness and clarity emerge. As the stagnancy continues to smolder, the phoenix lifts our spirits up and up, and we begin to recognize ourselves again. We may catch a glimmer in our eye that wasn't there before, and look closely. It's a sign the fire of transformation is upon your wings. Very, very positive. So this is amazing transformation here. But what that card is saying, that you have to go and say, this is it. This is it. I'm done living like this. Right? I'm done half dead. I'm half dead. Am I supposed to be living without passion? Right? Am I supposed to be living without love? Like real love? Right? Am I supposed to be, that's not the way. The phoenix is like got the paddles on you. Right? Resurrecting you. Bringing you back to life. And that's the Fool energy. But it takes, runners, for you to be loving yourself up first. Put your divinity first. Love yourself up first. That's what the divine wants from you, right? And then look at the overall energy, which fits, eh? And that's the ten of wands. The 10 of wands. This is interesting because this was a major theme in the Human Design Inner Team online retreat this weekend. So this is letting go of burdens, duty, stress, right? That's all this. I'm putting I'm putting everybody else top priority, not myself. And it's like, the 10 of wands, right? I got to carry this, these obligations and struggles. And I'm just going to let them down. I'm going to let them down for this full moon. Right? So maybe you did have to care. Let's not make this wrong. Maybe you did have to carry these burdens. Maybe this was your karma. But it's ending. It's the 42, right? It's ending. It's coming to an ending. So it's about, the phoenix is saying, throw those 10 wands into the fire. Right? Throw them into the fire. They're burning. Right? They're burning. It's time for liftoff. Yeah. Okay. So it's about freedom, right? I release the burdens. This is both for runner and chaser. I'm releasing the burdens of my conditioning, right? Distractions, right? And then for the chasers, I'm releasing this, putting everybody else before my own needs and my own divinity. Trying to people please. I'm surprised we didn't get the people pleaser card. Okay, so that's the twin flame. And check out the Frida Kahlo Diego relationship report, part 1. And that's going to drop on Saturday, October 12th, around 3:30 Hawaiian Standard Time. Okay.